All right, Banditos, welcome back to the series that is getting you ready for Title Update 22, Season 2 of Year 6 in the Division 2. And today we're talking about a meta shift. In this one, it's in the pistol category. Let's get to it.
Piece of shit wristwatch.
But why are pistols really important? So let's just touch on that real quick. Well, it comes to XP. Yeah, you heard me right. Pistols equal more XP because we have these directives, and a lot of these directives impact your ammo situation. We have ammo hoarders, which is hard on high RPM weapons, or any weapon really, but anytime you reload, you lose whatever ammo was remaining in your mag, and you're not getting ammo dropping on the field, so you have to go to the resource box to get it. And then we have pistolero, and with that, the only way to get ammo is by earning it with your sidearm. So in both of those cases, if you're XP farming, pistol builds are really nice because they have infinite ammo. So it allows you to run all 5 directives for 125% more experience without having to worry about that encumbrance. There are some really cool builds out there that give you that JWick kill, stick and move type of flow. So when they make a change to the pistols, which I don't think they've done since I've played this game, since like ever, I just can't remember the last time they made a change to the pistol category. And they did. And that means I'm paying really close attention because I use my sidearm a lot because I really enjoy headshot builds, and there's a few sidearms that shine in that category. So today we're going to be focusing on the meta shift, and currently in Title Update 21 and before, the best sidearm in the game has been the D50. This is the Regulus aside for a moment. The D50 just stood out to be the strongest sidearm in the game, and it had enough power to allow us to one-shot chain kill. And I got a build for you today that I use, and I'll show it. What's happening is they're nerfing the D50, and this one got me. And this is one of the ones I complained about. And what sucks about these reworks is that we heavily invest in these weapons. They're not just our favorites. We invest hours of upgrades into them. So as you can see, I have 19 expertise on my D50. That's a lot of resources in there. Because of the nerf, this may not have the power to achieve what I'm doing today. But either way, it's no longer the strongest pistol, and I don't always have to run the strongest version of every weapon class, but for pistol builds that I want to one-shot chain kill with, it was important that I did. And so that's why the D50 shined. The reality is that I don't really like the D50. Its weapon handling sucks. That's what you pay for the power. So if we go back to the chart here, you can see that what they're doing is decreasing the damage on the D50, and they're lifting the damage on the Magnum. It's not a bad thing. I don't mind that. Depending on which game you play, you might see the D50 at the top, or you might see the Magnum at the top. So it's Dirty Harry for sure. And even though I'm disappointed about the D50 being nerfed, it's really because of my resources, and I prefer the Magnum to be the stronger weapon, which it's going to be. It's not only going to be stronger than the D50, it's going to be stronger than what the D50 was currently in Title Update 21. So as you can see, the D50 is at 220, 956, and the Magnum is going up to 233, 223, quite a bit higher. There's some DPS factors there. They are buffing the D50's rate of fire. So if you're playing this as, you know, a sidearm to your crit DPS build, then maybe the D50 still stays for you. But if you're running a headshot build, then the RPMs aren't that important. I do like more RPMs in case you missed a shot, but so you know, plus 50 RPM on the sidearm is a lot. So that's a big increase to that sidearm. The Revolver category, I really enjoy the Deseros as a plus 20 RPM over the Magnum, and I can feel it. And it helps you throw out a consecutive shot if you miss, which in this game, let's admit it, happens a lot because these guys are rodeo clowns. One of the downsides is, wow, look at what they're doing to the reload speed. So you're getting a lot of power, but you're going from 1.8 to 278 reload speed. And they're doing a little bit of a nerf on the optimal range. But they're also nerfing the D50's reload speed. I mean, ouch. That reason alone, I don't know if I'd use it. It's not only getting less damage, look at the reload. Wow, they're really hitting that one hard. That aside, if you do go all in on headshot sidearm builds, it's not really that big of a deal because you go headshot damage everywhere, and then you sort of have these free stats. And what are you going to do with those stats? Well, you end up putting weapon handling on them. And that helps with the stability or the recoil. Of course, the reload speed. So it's not going to be crazy fast reloads, but I do like crazy fast reloads on my sidearms. It's going to put it back into reality because those are really bad reloads. I don't know why they're doing that. All of the sidearms are going to have bad reloads. And it's weird because not enough players use sidearms. They should be giving us more incentives to use them. It's a balancing exercise, but I'm not sure if it's warranted in this category on the reload thing. One of the downsides about the pistol situation that I got to point out is what's happening to the Liberty. So in this rebalance, it looks like the devs are aligning all the exotics with their non-exotic variant. The Liberty is getting the same treatment that the D50 is. So keep in mind, we got different levels of expertise here. But if you look at the base damage, you can see that the Liberty had higher base damage than the regular D50. That's the white bracket. So the D50 here is at 221 and the Liberty is at 235. But in the future, they're going to be the same. They're both going to have 189,000 in base damage. So that's too bad because that made the Liberty exceptional because it was just a better D50, especially when I was running a shield. It was helpful because it would also heal my shield. So in this rebalance, it's not just the Magnum that's getting a lift. It's really all of the weapons, the sidearms are getting a lift, which is great. But that being said, the revolvers, all of them are now going to be stronger than the D50. Poor D50. It just got nerfed into the ground. The Harvest is the new named pistol they gave us, I think, in the fall event. And this one is the Revolver Plus. It's a named Magnum. If you notice, it doesn't have any perfect stats. The stat that is perfect is the base damage. Currently, the Magnum's base damage is at 193.99, but this one has a base damage of 228. Not only is the Magnum going to be stronger next season, this one is going to be even stronger than that. So that makes the Harvest, the new meta pistol, and a really interesting contender to the Regulus. I know just saying that is blasphemy because I love the Regulus. The Regulus currently is at 282, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any sort of buffs or nerfs except for its reload. So they're pushing the reload from 1.8 seconds to 2.78 seconds. That actually hurts. It's hitting it pretty hard. So the Harvest currently is at 228 before the buffs. The question is, how much of a buff does the Harvest get next season? And fingers crossed, it maintains its spread, meaning the delta between the current Magnum and this named version is maintained. That would make me happy. These are the current damage numbers, and as far as I know, they're going to be the same. Now, what's going to change is we're going to have these modifiers. So what we can do now without modifiers and with directives will change next season with seasons 2.0 because those modifiers are not necessarily going to add HP to these enemies. Maybe they will. Some of them I know are invulnerable, but what that does is take away our consistency. And with headshot builds, it's all about consistency. What we're trying to do with the headshot build is consistently hit 10 million. I'm talking about solo gameplay here with heroic, and obviously that scales up. So let's just use solo heroic PvE for this case. But what we're trying to do is hit 10 million. So we create a build that works up to and then can maintain 10 million in damage that point forward because we have so many elites in that open world gameplay, and that's where we spend the majority amount of our time. So 10 million is really not that hard to get to, and that opens up a lot of build diversity with your headshot sidearm builds. You're one-shotting everybody at 10 million, but there are exceptions. So this is a headshot pistol build that I run for XP farming. It's the one I'm using in the gameplay. The one I'm normally playing with, I actually run more armor cores. I put them on everywhere, usually except for the chest. But I'm not doing it now because this hasn't received its buff. Also, I don't have the perfect one, so I haven't rolled any expertise into this, and I have crit damage where I should have at least headshot damage, if not damage to targets out of cover or damage to armor, either one. With the Harvest, I'm running reload speed and weapon handling, and then I'm running determined. That allows me to go extremely fast by eliminating the need to actually land shots on the head so I can quick draw center mass on the enemies. There's a mechanic to this, and the other weapons play a role, so I use them once and then switch to my pistols. So I'm running the sharpshooter specialization, and I'm doing that so I have access to the TAC-50, which I use to kick off the fight once I have ammo. But when I don't, then I use the Nemesis. I also use the Nemesis against really strong bosses or heavies. So what I do is I get close enough to the enemy where I'm in my apex predator range, and then I kill them with my Nemesis or the TAC-50. Once I have TAC-50 ammo, I prefer to do that. Then I switch over to my pistol. I get one more headshot kill to activate Determined, and then from that point forward, I can land body shots or headshots or shots on weak points and one tap everybody. The other backup is 1886, but I'm not really using this, and then I have Determined on it. The chest piece is important. I do recommend a D&H chest piece, so definitely get this for next season. That's going to give you 20% pistol damage. That's sizable. Then I run a red core on this one, weapon handling and headshot damage, and then Headhunter. So a Headhunter is really important. You're not going to be able to do what you see me doing without this. It's going to push your damage by 1,250% based off of the last killing blows damage. I mean, that's just big, right? You have to have 150% headshot damage. That's really easy to get. There's a silent attribute on pistols that gives you more headshot damage. So as you can see, I have 200% headshot damage on my sidearm there. We're not worried about crits because we're not looking for percentages here. We're looking for guarantees, and we need that guaranteed damage to hit 10 million, which we're doing with this build. And then we're running the Hunter's Fury gear set. It's built for shotguns and SMGs, but we use it for all sorts of things, including headshot builds at close range. This is giving us 20% armor on kill. There's added survivability, and there's more coming in Apex Predator. So enemies within 15 meters receive a debuff. So I try to keep all my kills in there. You don't have to, but that's going to ensure you're getting best damage. But it's most important that you get that first kill with your sniper inside 15 meters. You're usually sneaking up on that guy anyways, so it's not that hard to do. So amplify your weapon damage by 20% when you're doing that. Killing a debuffed enemy with your weapon disorients other enemies within 5 meters. More survivability, and it buys you time to reload. And amplifies weapon damage by 5% for 10 seconds, and that stacks up to 5 times. So the faster you kill, then the more you're able to maintain even higher damage. So weapon damage and headshot damage here. Now I gotta tell you, typically I run armor here, but I just don't have this weapon fully leveled up. So I will be testing this and seeing how high I can push it. But if I was running the D50 with all armor, then I'll be able to do it with the Magnum too, if the numbers hold as they're presented. I also run protection from elites instead of headshot damage in the mod slot. I run 2 to 3 of those, just depending. That gives me even more survivability. So I'll be doing that once I have the pistol where it needs to be. Oh, quick question. Is the harvest still dropping from the loot goblin, or was that only during the fall event? Because the fall event was glitched, so he wasn't dropping it. So you got it and you weren't able to farm another one. Is he dropping it? Let me know so I can start farming it like you should too. So the gloves, I have weapon damage and headshot damage. You will see armor on this in the future. And then the knees, I have armor and headshot damage. The holster, more armor and headshot damage. Pretty easy. So just farm Hunter's Fury with headshot damage everywhere. The backpack is the Memento. The main reason why I'm running it is for all of its glorious bonus armor. We got the 3 cores. I have headshot damage here, but I will be putting protection from elites on it. When we're at full stack, so after 30 kills, in which we collected 30 trophies, we'll get 30% weapon damage for 300 seconds. That's what we call the long-term buff. And then we'll get 3% armor regen, that's right, more survivability, for 300 seconds. And then we'll get 30% skill efficiency for 300 seconds also. And that'll give us buffs to all of our skills. So duration, skill repair, skill damage, skill health, status effects. The short-term buffs are what I'm really playing into. So every time we get a kill, we get 5% weapon damage per red core, which will just be a nice little touch. It's really the bonus armor. So we're gonna get 10% bonus armor per blue core. And in the future, I'll be running at least 5 blue cores. So that's 50% in bonus armor, and it stacks. And then we're gonna get the 20% armor on kill. Both of those things are happening on kill. That's a lot of survivability, and it allows me to run shieldless because the blue armor bar is my shield. And we're able to refresh that shield, and it's really hard for the enemies to break it. Because of the directives, I'm choosy about which skills I run. The decoy is ever so handy, and then I just run the fixer otherwise. Let me know what you guys think about these changes. Thank you for hanging out with me today. My name is Tuxedo Bandido. That's Tito Bandido.
What's crack-a-lackin'?
This was another episode of The Division 2. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, like, and turn on notifications to ensure you don't miss out on the fantastic experiences waiting for you in The Division 2. And if you like builds like this, check out the recommended build video I have here for you. If you have anything you want to see covered, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And thank you to all the channel members and donors who make everything possible. Tux Nation wouldn't be without you.
When you buy a game from Ubisoft, enter the creator code Tuxedo Bandido to support the channel. Easy peasy. Now maybe this cheapskate can afford to sign me up for that dating app I've had my eyes on.
Follow me.
I get it.